Hello and welcome to episode 11 of the Sci-Fi and Fantasy edition of the incoming video podcast. This is a show that looks back at the week's Sci-Fi and Fantasy miniature releases. This show is for week ending 4th of December 2009 and I'm your host Neil Shuck. Lots and lots of releases this week, so best crack straight on. Number 10, and lots of new releases from Splintered Lands this week. This is a range of 15 to 18mm figures designed specifically to use with the Splintered Lands rule set from Ganesha Games, and it's all based on woodland creatures. This is my favourite of these releases, which shows some hedgehog spearmen. Excellently sculpted little models these. Number 9, a new release from Crocodile Games. Who can resist this crocodile king of Memphis? I think this speaks for itself really. Bizarre subject, but cool all the same. Thank you very much. Number 8, a new set of releases from Shadowforge. People have been requesting a dwarf team for some time, and here they are. A full set of female dwarf fantasy footballers. Though it has to be said, despite the fact they're females, their beards seem conspicuously absent. But despite that minor oversight, an excellent release from Shadowforge. Long-awaited female dwarves. Number 7, there is a new faction being released for the Infinity game. These are the Human Sphere. Several new units being released for these. These are my favourite. I believe they're called the Juwana. Great manga-style characters, these. Fantastic stuff from Infinity. High quality, detailed, dynamic poses. Just really make you want to get the game, don't they? Number 6, a new release from Freebooter Miniatures. This is their new Romerto figure. As you can see, another excellently detailed character figure from Freebooter. Really nice stuff. Into the top 5, and a brand new range of figures. They're called Raging Heroes. Now these are unusual, as in they're available in 2 different scales, both 28 and 54mm. I think you'll agree their first releases are pretty stunning. This is Alerial and Alaniel the Standard Bearer. And that is just, I don't think I've quite seen a standard bearer quite like this. Tremendously dynamic looking figure, banner blowing around in, say, a bit more than a breeze, I think. A couple of stunning miniatures to go with it. Just excellent stuff. And you'll see more of this range shortly. Number 4, we have one of a couple of new releases from the Smog range from Smartbox this week. This is a 54mm range of VSF miniatures. And there's some excellently detailed stuff in here. This is a Little Alice, which is sort of a dark take on the small Alice in Wonderland figure. Just fantastic stuff, this from Smog. And brought alive by a fantastic paint job, but a really nice figure. These really are an excellent range to look at. Number 3, and yes, I thought I'd finally feature them as they are out in certain places. And that's the new Firestorm Armada figures from Spartan Games. And here are my 2 personal favourites. We have the initial Terran fleet with some nice looking cruisers and an excellent battleship. But the best of the releases so far, in my opinion, the Aquan Carrier. Despite its passing resemblance to a Kazon cruiser from Star Trek Voyager, it has got classic lines to this particular ship. Just don't paint it kind of dark brown or orange, okay? Number 2, and another release from Tabor Miniatures. This is the final faction for their Eden range. Up until this point, it's been like really nice miniatures, but not particularly interested in the game. However, I saw these, and my interest was immediately piqued. This is the ISC faction, essentially giant samurai robots. The largest figure in this particular picture is 70mm tall, and aren't they just awesome? Fantastic stuff from Tabor. So up until this point, Eden was, look interesting, some nice figures there. Now, this is a faction I would buy in a heartbeat, really would. So I'm going to take a lot more interest in the Eden figures at this moment in time. Back to my number 1 for this week, and it's another new release from Raging Heroes. Again, a figure that's available either in 28 or 54mm. This is a Shara, who can only be some form of chaos sorceress, I think. And just look at this figure. Different head and arm options, but isn't it? It's absolutely stunning. Superbly detailed. I don't think you can ask for much more in a fantasy figure than this. Simply gorgeous. So that's my top 10, but as I said, a huge amount of figures released this week. So here is the roundup of the rest of this week's releases for sci-fi and fantasy. Well, there you have it. A bumper released week this week. Lots and lots to choose from. So if you've seen something you found of interest, I think you'll agree this new Raging Heroes range has certainly landed with a huge bang. Fantastic stuff from them. Well, that wraps it up until next time. Before I go, I want to say a huge thank you once again to Bill from the Miniatures page and Zach from Tabletop Gaming News. Without these two guys' sites, this podcast simply wouldn't be possible, so thanks to them both. And if you want to catch this again, and if you want to catch this vidcast again, you can always do so by going to Warboots TV, scroll to the bottom of the page, and the incoming vidcasts are streamed at the bottom of the page as part of their 24-hour video streaming. What's all that remains to be said is thank you very much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed the show and seen something you like, and I'll catch up with you soon. Take care until then. Bye bye.